Good morning, guys. It's about 9 a.m. 9 a.m. on Monday morning. Welcome back to another vlog. In the video that I uploaded yesterday, I kind of never finished it, right? We were talking about feeling uncomfortable, drawing attention to myself or ourselves in public. And then I said, we'll continue this in a minute. And then I just never recorded anymore. And so it has been something I've been thinking about sort of for the past week. Okay, let's talk about what I mean when I say I feel unsafe vlogging in public. It is not a question of physical safety. It's a question of drawing attention to myself, and that feels scary, maybe is a better way to put it. Part of this is that I am an American living in another country, and so every time I speak in public, I get comments, and 99% of the time, they are lovely, genuine, curious comments like, oh, where's that accent from? How long have you been here? Don't you want to move back home? Or don't you want to move back to America? Blah, 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 blah. And I don't always want to have those conversations. It's quite personal sometimes, but I'm not given a choice whether I want to have those conversations or not. If I don't engage, then I come off as rude. I don't know the polite way to say, hey, you're asking me really personal questions and I don't want to talk about this. I'm tired of still being treated like a foreigner. I have lived in this country for 13 years, and I still have to have that conversation every day. Where are you from? Well, I'm from here. Like, this is my home. Like, no, but where did you come from? Where's your accent from? Like, I'm tired of having that conversation. I have to have it with every single person I meet. It's the first thing they notice about me. Second I open my mouth, that becomes my defining characteristic. That becomes what the conversation's going to be about. And all my other parts of my personality kind of fall to the wayside. Part of it is also being a woman. If I'm in public and I say something and then someone immediately starts up a conversation and that person is a man, especially if I'm on like public transport, like in a place where I can't leave, I can't walk away, I have to be nice. Like, I have to just be polite and go along with whatever their conversation is, because I know from experience men can get aggressive if they feel like they're being ignored or dismissed. Like, that's just a fact. And yes, we can do hashtag not all men, but whatever, like, I don't even have the energy for that conversation right now. I also feel like, particularly vlogging in public, me holding a camera and talking to it, invites people, like my accent invites people to come and comment and talk to me. Vlogging in public invites people to come and comment and talk to me. And again, 99% of those conversations are going to be good. But I fear the 1% that are not. There's a fine line between, like, yes, this interaction is totally fine, and then it escalates. If I don't respond in a way that that person deems okay, then it can quickly escalate to something that makes me very uncomfortable. I guess if you haven't experienced that, maybe it's hard to empathize with what I'm saying. But I think if you have experienced that, if you have experienced that flip of like, okay, this is all okay, this is all okay, this is all okay, and then something happens, you don't say the right thing, or just a line gets crossed and suddenly you don't feel comfortable and you don't feel safe, that's what I'm talking about. It's not that like vlogging in public is inherently unsafe. Like, this is all fine. Like, I'm in my office, I feel fine. Like, nothing's going to happen, right? In public is a little bit different, but it's like 99% of the time this is all going to be fine. but then 1% of the time it's not going to be, and I can't predict it. It's one side of it. But then there's just the the stories women are told about who they should be. We should be small, we should not take up space, we should not draw attention to ourselves for all sorts of various reasons. More so when I was younger. I didn't want to draw any attention to myself because I was very uncomfortable with boys. I don't know, that whole situation, like when you're growing up and you're a teenager, and I was not really into dating. Like, I've always been super, super goal orientated and driven and ambitious, and really was just not going to get distracted with drugs or drinking or sex. And so, like, I dated a couple boys in high school. One was a really short relationship, one was a little bit longer relationship, a little bit more intense. And ultimately, we broke up because he wanted it to be more physical than I did. I got freaked out and broke up with him. But then I just didn't date for the rest of high school. I didn't feel like I could be in a normal teenage relationship. I felt like that was always going to happen. So I just didn't date. So it's not like I have this terrible dating history. There was a period of like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years maybe, where like I just really didn't want any attention being drawn to myself because I didn't want to be put in that situation again of feeling pressure to do things I didn't want to do. If that makes sense. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Trying to unpack all the reasons why I feel uncomfortable drawing attention to myself in public. It's kind of like having a therapy session with you guys right now. I don't know. All I can say is I feel like life has taught me it's better to be quiet and in the background and unseen and unheard, and that's the safest way to pass through this world. That conflict is dangerous, that people being angry is dangerous, and it's hard to let go of those messages. What we tend to do as humans, I think especially as women, is we take one situation and we generalize that across all situations. So if I had one situation in my past where someone being angry felt threatening, I have generalized that to all situations. Anytime anyone is angry, it's threatening. And that's not necessarily true, right? Like that one situation with that one person, that might have been the case. It might not have been the case, but it might have been. But I am now taking that and applying it to all situations, and that's something I need to stop doing. But it's really hard because everything in our brain, like our most basic instinct, is to keep ourselves safe. And that's safe from physical harm, but also safe from emotional harm. So I think that's when I say sometimes vlogging feels unsafe, it's like it's threatening my emotional well-being. The confrontations that might come up from vlogging in public are not a threat to my physical safety, but they might be a threat to like my emotional well-being. I'm sure this ties into my need to be perfect, to always please everyone, because I don't want anyone to be unhappy or mad at me. Like this urge to not have anyone mad at me is so strong. And so I just do everything I can to not have conflict. What does it mean as a woman to take up space? That's the question. What kind of space am I allowed to take up? How loud am I allowed to be in public? And there's like no one around me, but I still feel like my voice is carrying and I have to whisper. So that's a bunch of rambly thoughts on vlogging in public, around doing anything in public that draws attention to myself. Did it make any sense? Do you guys have thoughts? Does anyone else go through the same thing? Let me know in the comments below. You can subscribe if you like these types of videos. Hit that thumbs up button to let me know you watched and liked this video, or hit the thumbs down button if you didn't like this video. Bye.